There have been clearly fetishized female humanoid robots in science fiction films for as long as there have been robots. The films use clear gender codes on genderless machines. This allows them to project their patriarchal fears of a future society with genderless bodies, advanced technology, and artificial intelligence onto the robots. So why are female robots considered dangerous? Is our future under control of these female humanoids? Curious to know? Let's find out. But before that, for everyone who's new to our channel, hello and welcome to Robot Future, where we fill you in on every thrilling discovery and mind-blowing insights in the world of robots, AIs, and future technology. So consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification for a ton of exciting robot content coming your way. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Female robots are specifically painted with the archetypal characteristics of the femme fatale, a stock character rooted in fear of a woman free of patriarchal restraints. These three distinct but interconnected fears make female robots the ultimate femme fatale. The femme fatale is an archetype of an untrustworthy woman associated with early to mid-20th century Hollywood noir films. Consider Barbara Stanwyck in Double Indemnity or Rita Hayworth as Gilda. She knew she was stunningly beautiful as she sauntered out of the shadows in a cloud of cigarette smoke, the camera always lingering on her body and the chiaroscuro lighting emphasizing her figure. She was also an antagonist, and her most lethal weapon was her appearance. She would use her beauty and charm to her advantage, manipulating and deceiving the male hero and putting him in danger. Within the filmic world, as a character and actor, she was subjected to the male gaze and completely controlled and owned by the spectator, and her economic and social independence made her a threat to patriarchal order. This was most likely a reaction to women entering the workforce and gaining financial independence during World War II. As a threat, she is thus frequently defeated at the end of the film, usually by being killed, imprisoned, or sometimes by falling in love with the hero and being returned to patriarchal order. This fear and archetype has evolved in science fiction films to combine with a fear and theme that is a mainstay in sci-fi: technological advancement. Women and technology have long been associated in our culture, owing largely to the computer's historical replacement of low-level secretarial work that was traditionally seen as work done by women. This association does not end there. From almost entirely female telephone operators throughout the 20th century to Siri, Alexa, and Cortana, society has grown accustomed to interacting with technology through the incorporeal voice of a woman. Because of this feminization of technology, the fear of the female is projected onto technology, and thus the fear of artificial intelligence was transformed into a paranoid terror of femininity. False Maria in Metropolis is one of, if not the, first female robots in film. She was created in the image of her creator's lost love with the sole intent of wreaking havoc on the citizens of the city. In her most famous scene, her creator, Rotwang, orders her to dance in front of a crowd of men in order to hypnotize them and force them to do what she wants. During the dancing, her body is literally an exhibit, intercut with layered shots of numerous male eyes staring madly at her dancing. Like many noir femme fatales, the men appear to be under her control, but her body is subject to their, and by extension the audience's, gaze. She is the ultimate dangerous woman, using her everything to literally wreak havoc on the city and nearly ruin it. She is a projection of a male view and fear of destructive female. Her actions, however, are not her own. Their male creators, like many other female robots, program them to behave in this manner and do their bidding. Rotwang builds his robot on the body of a conventionally attractive woman because he knows he can exploit her. In the much later film Ex Machina, Nathan claims that he created Ava, gendered her female, and gave her personality in order to attract Caleb and test her interactions with humans. It is important to note, however, that this is a film about masculinity and two men who represent very opposing forms of toxic masculinity attempting to assert their masculinity on Ava. She is an idealized version of their ideal woman, and thus the female robot is a projection of male anxieties and desires, even in the filmic universe. Unlike in Metropolis, a central question raised throughout the film is whether Ava is insentient or simply acting as she is programmed to do, or whether she is in control of her personality and using a performance of femininity to her advantage, as the femme fatales of noir do. She successfully attracts Caleb and convinces him to assist her escape, during which she dupes him, murders her creator, and frees herself. This turns the femme fatale archetype on its head, as she is trapped and under the control of a man throughout the film, only to be liberated at the end. However, the film's conclusion implies that Ava's liberation could have extremely dangerous societal consequences, as we have just seen her manipulate, deceive, and kill humans. This makes Ava similar to classic femme fatales in that her freedom is a threat to society, but her escape at the end suggests a pessimistic, patriarchal viewpoint, and that perhaps technology isn't as easy to control as women are. We frequently fail to see how the development of humanoid robots and the ideas that support their production demonstrates the immense horrors that continue to exist in the world of Darkseid, which is built on women's perceived inferiority and thus justifies their use for pleasure. Although it is true that individuals should direct their aura toward robots rather than children or women, it still reinforces power relations of inequality and violence. One example is how people designing robots assign gender to them based on their function. People who create these robots are simply reinforcing existing stereotypes, similar to how female humanoid robots generalize the idea of female beauty. Is it possible that one day we will prefer machine kinship over human or animal kinship? If this is correct, it will have a negative impact on our society. In Blade Runner, the dangers of a free woman robot are also explored. The only story assigned to the antagonistic female robots, Pris and Jorah, is that they are dangerous robots who escaped, and the film's hero Deckard, played by Harrison Ford, is tasked with killing them. They're referred to as basic artificial female models, and like many of these female-gendered robots, they've been designed to be overly attractive in order to benefit their creator. They become dangerous, however, when they take control of their attractiveness and use it for their own benefit, rather than for the benefit of a man. Deckard murders both of these robots in horrifyingly violent and objectifying scenes. For example, Jorah is gunned down while being chased through the streets in his underwear and a see-through coat. They are both subject to the male gaze, even as they are being murdered. In their final moments, their beauty is no longer theirs. It is stolen back and placed under the control of the patriarchy, just as it is in death. Rachel, the main female robot and of course Deckard's love interest, is frequently referred to as a femme fatale because her iconography resembles that of classic noir film femme fatales. When we first meet her, she has black 1940s-style hair and dress, is walking out of the shadows, engulfed by smoke from her cigarette, and is lit in classic noir style. Her deliberately noir-like aesthetic and role as the hero's love interest are where the femme fatale parallels end, as she doesn't cause any conflict for Deckard and even saves his life. Rachel and the other femme fatale robots appear to have many of the characteristics of a femme fatale, but are controlled by the patriarchy in a different way. Women in classic Hollywood noir films are portrayed as free and dangerous and thus must be subdued. However, because these robots are created under patriarchal control to perform some kind of service, usually involving their beauty, for them, they are not free or independent in any way, and the film's conflict arises when the robots aspire for freedom. They become increasingly rebellious and independent of their creators, deceiving, manipulating, and sometimes violent and out of control, using their beauty to deceive and manipulate. Although the femme fatale's character arc typically ends with them being killed, the robot femme fatale's path is different. Their plot implies a loss of ownership and control that has yet to occur in our society. Still watching? We knew you'd love our video. Well, we'd be even happier if you could just hit that like button. Coming back to the scenario, what do we think about this? Well, it demonstrates the fear of losing control, a fear historically associated with women, of the technology that we create and use every day. And what better way to project these fears than onto something that has always attempted to be controlled, women? And as Ex Machina suggests, patriarchal society may be gradually losing its grip on the things they fear the most. And with that being said, it's time to end our video. But before that, we'd like to know your opinion about this. What do you think about our future with these female humanoids? Let us know in the comments and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this. We'll see you in the next video.